what was it? Yeah, adding subcategories and all these things are done. Let me quickly create one application, closing all of these things. Now the requirement is we're going to create one particular application which says meeting room application. We'll try to create one application. Let's try to. So there are multiple methods. We can use App Engine Studio also. We can use Studio and other things to create one. But let's try to create one simple application which is a simple table. So from tables, we will create one table. So we are creating this in global application only. The name of this will be um, meeting room. Or do we have something which says meeting room? No, we don't. So we are creating one table with the name of meeting room. Do you want to add a module to the menu? Yes, and new menu name will be meeting room. This extends what table? Now this is the table extension I was actually trying to show you. So do you want to extend some of the fields from a different table, which can be any table? Let's say, do you want to extend task table? Do you want to extend incident table problem? Why extending a table is recommended? Because you don't have to create everything from scratch. So right now I'm not extending any of the table. I'm just trying to create some things, some fields manually. So saving this, one particular table is now created. Table name is meeting room. You see, I just saved, provided a name, and these columns are automatically, you know, populated. These columns are the default column that are there whenever a new table gets created. You will definitely see these fields. Created will be created by system. Updated sys id is the 32 character unique number given to every record in ServiceNow. Created by, updated, and updates. All of these 6 fields will automatically get created whenever you create a table. So you don't, you will only have to create your own fields. Now what will happen is, if you try to look for meeting
This
room, you
table
see,
is like we can use this table in uh, all items. I mean, like changes, incidents, anywhere.
mm, this table, no, this table is a custom table that we have just created. This is
Okay.
a new table, just like an incident table, problem table, change table, task table, anything. We have just created one more new table which
Okay.
says the name of the table is meeting room. And you can see this. So this table, whenever you create a table, it will, you can find it from the left hand navigator option. If you try to find with the table name actually meeting room, you can see this application got created and this is the module. And if you try to edit this particular application, you can use this pencil icon and you can edit it. This is the meeting room application inside the global scope. Roles are these, categories are these, and the module is meeting room. One module which says the list of the meeting room. This is the list of the record. This is what? A list of the record. All something like this you were seeing as an incident list. This is also showing the list of the record. Similarly, this particular thing will also show you the list of the record. Now what we trying to do is we're trying to add some of the fields in this particular table. So this is a table. By default, 6 fields are there. Now I'm trying to add one fields one by one into this. So one field that we will add is type of a reference field first. The name of the field will be requested for. So the person who is actually requesting this particular meeting room application. So I have created one. It will take the reference from which same sys user table, sys underscore user, and this is the table. And when you will actually save it, now when you try to find meeting rooms, you will be opening a list, and whenever you create a new record, you will see one field is added, which is saying requested for. And you can do what? You can search the users, whatever you want to, from this particular reference field. So this is not required right now. Let's just create another one. One field is done. Go back to configure the field. Go back again. So you see now we have 7 fields. 6 were created by system. One field was added. We can see an X icon which says this thing was added by the user. So the requested for is actually added. The second thing is second field we want to add is requested for. Let's say now I want to add a choice, which will actually give me the choice of the meeting rooms that I want to finally book. So this will allow the user to actually select the meeting room from the drop down choice they want to select, and they can select the meetings room from there. So this is created. Let me create one choice which says so what is happening is you refresh this right now. Second field is created, which is a drop down choice. You can select the room which you want to actually book. So let's just ground floor 1, the value will be gf1, and let's just give it a sequence of 1. And what we'll do is save. The second choice we'll try to create as the ground floor 2 and 2. What we'll do is we're just renaming that thing, and we'll do insert and stay, and we will change the sequence also for this guy, because that sequence was also 1 and this particular field sequence is also 1. So you'll refresh, you will see two options: ground floor 1, ground floor 2. Let's just select ff1, which is first floor 1, ff2, uh, sequence number 3, will give it sequence 3, and do insert and stay, not save, because if you save it will actually rename that other value. So we have third choice created, first floor 1, and similarly we can do second floor 2, second floor 1, second floor 2, whatever. Oh, oh, and do an insert and stay to this. So we have created 4 options, 4 of the meeting rooms to select from the choice list. You can select anything. Let's just go back and see whether all the options are actually correct. Yeah, so this was the field, choice field, having these value sf1, ff, okay, there should be ff1 actually the value, and gf1 and gf2. Okay, so this is also created, and now let's create one more field which says attendees or attendants of this particular meeting room. You can actually select multiple users from that. Okay, so uh, I'm just using this configure dictionary option or configure table from this thing. And now let's create a third field which says the type will be do we have multi-select? No. Choice, condition, currency. List. So I will select the type of list. I will show you what is actually list type field. Uh, Participants, you can say. It will take the name and I will give it a save. So I have created one field which is participants in this meeting room application. And you can see this field is somewhat looking like this. From participant, you can actually select anything you want. So let's just go to participant. This is the one we were configuring. This is the type of list field, reference qualifier, and take the participant from what? Sys underscore user table. How a list type is different from a reference type, you will see right now is a reference will allow you to select one value, but list, or what we call as glide list, will actually allow you to select multiple options. This is a type of glide list or list type. So let's say I select user one or user any of the user, let's say user two. I selected one meeting room first floor one, and how many participants I can select is I can select any of them I want to. One is selected, two is selected, three is selected, or anything I want to. I can take a reference from this user table. These will be the participants and save. So I am the user who actually requested for this particular meeting room, and these are the participants. Okay, on what date do you want to book this particular meeting room on? So let's just try to configure it again, configure the table and give it the required date. So going back, creating one more dictionary entry or the field, and this field type will be date time. And yeah, give it a name of start date. It will take the name automatically and do a save. Similarly, create one more field which will be the end date. So we created 1, 2, 3, 4 new fields we've created manually. This will also be a date type. ठीक है. Save. So now this meeting room application, you can just go from here also, create a new record. You can say I can select the start date and I can also select the end date. Start date and end date time. So this is a very small application that we have created. Can be useful if anyone wants to use it. So requested for is the person who is actually requesting them. Meeting room, participants, start date and end date. We are not making anything mandatory because almost all of the fields, all these fields are mandatory because yeah, you need all of these field values to actually save. You can select the date also, the time also and everything, and select the members from here. This is a glide list type, data type or field type. So any more thing you want me to add in this table, we can quickly add any new feature or any new option or any new choices. I want you guys to add another choice, which is second floor 2. Please quickly guide me how I can edit it. I want to add a new meeting room in the meeting room choice list, which is second floor 2. To do that, I can either go to configure dictionary or configure choices. Let's just go by the fundamental method, which is configure dictionary. And similarly, you can see I can go to the choices and I can add another choices over here. So I'm not going to add right now. Okay, so now one thing is, yep. So you see, I am able to create some meeting rooms records. I can select everything and some things, but I don't see, I want a number, something like this, which is meeting room 001 or meeting room 002. How can I do that? To do that, actually, I need to go either edit the application or edit the module, or no, I will just directly go and configure the table. Actually, right click, configure table, and I will try to add one more field in this particular table or one more setting. I will try to make a change into it, which will allow me to give it the number. So if you go to the table configuration actually and go into controls, you can see auto number is there. So this is the auto numbering definition sequential. You can click on this. You can give it your specific prefix. Let's say I'm trying to give it, uh, yeah, meet, MEET, and the number, how many zeros. you want and how many digits you want in it. Let's say give it a 100 only, and digits will be 3, no 4. So if I now try to save it, so any new record in meeting room will actually be auto numbered with the prefix of meet. So now if you try to go to meeting room application and create a new record, you will see this particular number field is automatically added. Whenever you try to create a record, let's say I created one, obviously there should be,
So to identify the records, it will be useful. Like
correct, it will be, yeah,
incidents in the particular net.
exactly. So you can identify the meeting, the number meet 0102 was actually booked by this particular person. These are the participants, this is the meeting room and booked for this particular start and end time. So that's how auto numbering is actually. So to apply auto number, again, same thing, go back to the configure table application, not required. This is also not required. Directly go to configure and configure the table. In the controls, you can able to see other options also. So one more interesting thing, we have created fields. Some fields are auto created, some fields are manually created by users. Control, if you look at them carefully, extensible. So if you want to make this table be extensible, or other users can other users are creating new different tables, they can take or extend these fields. So you can make this table as extendable. So any new user who is trying to create a similar table or similar application that will be majorly using these 4 5 fields, they can extend this particular table or this behavior. You can select this option. So from next time, this table can be extended, right? Live feed is somewhat a flag to determine if live feed should be enabled for this table. I don't know what is this. I will check. This is not at all majorly used, so that's why I don't. ACLs are the users who will be able to access this particular application. So users with this particular role, whenever you will create a table, a new user role will be created. So you guys were
By
aware,
default,
yeah, by default it will be created, and these are the controls that will be created. This particular a user with this particular user role will be able to create, delete, read, and write. So if we try to impersonate with a different user, which was user 8 9 or something, let's say user 8 or 9, we try to impersonate user 10, this particular user will not have access to this application even from the left hand navigator or something, or even if I try to go directly, he will not be able to access it because that particular user doesn't have that particular role. Close, not required. Try to search meeting room application, he will not be able to see it because he doesn't have the privilege, or he doesn't contain that role. So again, going to the user, um, sys underscore user dot list, and trying to give the role to this particular user 10. Now go to user, or either we can go, yeah, let's now try to give this particular role to this group itself. So all of the members into this group will have this particular role. Which role? The role meeting room. Mm, star meeting, if we have something. Yeah, you meeting room user, if we try to give this role to this group, so all of the members of this group will now have this role, will now be able to see, create, read, and delete, and everything that they want to. Now impersonating this user 10 again. Close. And now you can see he is able to see the meeting room application and he can create the records. So that's how you actually give the permissions, and that's how you should give the permission for a specific application. This application is currently meeting room. Ending the impersonation and leaving it to you guys, to whatever the way you want to change the look and feel of this form, rearrange the fields and whatever you want to use. Let's say go to meeting room again, open any of the record, and either you can go for form designer, either you can go for form builder or form layout. Rearrange it, number should be on top, and yeah, everything else is fine. or you can play around whatever you want to. So let's try to do it with form builder now. Simple drag and drop will be utilized. Yep, over here. So number is on top and this guy. You can add below or add above. You can delete it. Same thing. It's like form designer only. You can bring up new fields and create a field from here and do a save. You can also do preview, whatever you want to, and make some things mandatory read only directly from here. This is the same thing, and you can also create UI policies. Wow, that I have seen right now, and more properties which are available. Go to the full dictionary entry, and yeah, we're back on the configure dictionary page of this particular table. No, this particular field actually, U number. So whenever you configure the dictionary, select any field. Let's say I'm trying to select this field. You can go to the full dictionary of that field. Now we're looking at dictionary of this, the selection of the meeting room, which is ground floor, first floor, second floor, third floor. So this is basic and simple. You can play around with it. One more thing I want you guys to look at it is the flaw in this application currently is I am a user. I requested for, let's say myself, I'm a user 10. I requested for myself or user 1. I selected the meeting room. I selected the participants also. Start date, I selected, let's say I selected 19th today. End date, I selected 10. This is technically not possible. He's starting the meeting room at 19th of May and ending it at 10th. So the question is, now the business comes to you and says, I don't want the end user to select these incorrect dates. Please refrain the user from selecting them. How will you actually do that? So date field is, you can directly go and configure these date fields, or you can also configure the UI policies or no, you will configure the client scripts also, or anything you want to do. You can do it. Let's say the requirement is the end date should not be less than the start date. So go to, let's just try to do this with UI policy only first. If it is possible, we can, or we can then try to write a client script.